All right, just got unmuted here. All right, thanks so much for the introduction here, Case. Thanks for having me on with these fine folks today. I'll just go ahead and jump right into what our program is all about. Of course, the program is called Financial Fortitude. It is a complete lead to sign client system in every sense of the phrase. And so let me just kind of step you through the itinerary for what I'm going to go through here today. I will talk about our exclusive high converting sales leads. We'll then go over the lead flow and sort of map out what a prospect's journey looks like to get to you. We'll then go over our on demand agent training portal. A lot of our secret sauce is baked in there. We'll cover any questions that you have. And then we'll talk about actually, this is probably where we'll end it here. Maybe we'll talk a little bit about our two sales guarantee, but we'll probably just end it here with any questions that you have about the program. And of course, we'll talk about the next steps, including pricing and the onboarding process. So we'd like to make it clear that we're not an IMO or an FMO, but we do offer exclusive IUL insurance leads. We have no contracts. Everything with us is pay as you go. The leads are SMS verified for accuracy. So, much like your bank that will text you a 6 digit verification code to confirm your identity when you log in or sign up for an account online. Same technology here we use to ensure that we just pretty much keep all the junk off your radar and ours so that you're only dealing with the most engaged individuals who actually want to hear what you have to offer. We also give you a CRM with tons of nurturing sequences baked into it. And average closing rates of this program are 60%. There's a good bit of our secret sauce that makes this happen. And so I'm looking forward to actually talking about that piece with you as well. So let's talk about these exclusive high converting sales leads. They are exclusive in every sense of the term. They're never shared with anyone else. They're yours and they're in your CRM. If you aren't reaching out to them, nobody is. We do encourage the leads to self book directly onto your calendar. We use an app called Schedule Once to help facilitate that. It works with apps that you're probably already using now, like Outlook and Google Calendar. We then pair Schedule Once with our CRM to manage the leads. We also give you sort of a lead verification outline where you as the agent will call to verify the meeting time. It's just the best practice that we find is most effective. It brings a nice piece of human touch where there's a lot of automation actually getting people into these calls with you. In fact, our agents who do follow this best practice also experience the highest show rates. Then, as far as the nurturing sequences go, we have pre meeting email and text reminders that go out to help drive increased show rates. Those are all pre written and ready to go. Then we have rebooking sequences that target folks who book appointments but don't show up so that we can get them back onto your schedule. Then we have a reactivation campaign that targets the leads we've generated that have not yet booked appointments so we can get them onto your calendar as well. And lastly, we have a lead nurturing campaign that nurtures the prospects that you've pitched for 18 months. These, of course, going to be the folks you don't close maybe in the first or second call. So that way, months down the road, when they're ready to make a move, you're the agent that they're talking to. So now, who's this program for? Well, it's for agents that can follow a proven system, that are committed to succeeding, that want leads that actually close 80% of the time, and that have no problem using technology. I think you all check off those boxes here. But we also like to outline who this is not for. So it's not for agents that sell IULs as a life insurance retirement plan, also known as an LIRP, because the positioning of our program and the LIRP program are actually contrary to each other. But now let's talk about the lead flow. So the prospect's journey starts with an ad. Our primary platforms of choice are Facebook and YouTube. And when folks interact with the ad, we use a particular hook, be your own bank. And that's something Casey and I talked about quite a bit yesterday. We don't get deep into the weeds on it. We just talk about it purely from a conceptual standpoint. We leave the more technical conversation for them to have with you as the agent. But we get them in with that hook. They come to a landing page with a video that just kind of further unpacks the concept of being your own bank. As many of you may well know, folks are most folks look at life insurance purely from the standpoint of the death benefit, but nobody's really talked to them about how it can be a financial vehicle, particularly with the infinite banking concept. So we even break out an Excel calculator that kind of demonstrates how this sort of be your own bank concept can grow their money over time. And at the end of that video, we invite the prospect to book a call with a licensed life insurance agent, which would be you, of course. That's going to help them set up their own bank. So that's what they're presented with this form. Now, the lead form is really cool because no matter what they put in it, they won't be able to actually submit that information and show up on in the system as a lead until they've completed that all important text message verification step. But now, once they complete that step, two things happen simultaneously. First, they show up in your CRM as a lead in real time. There's no waiting here. The second thing that happens is that the prospect on their end sees your booking calendar so they can schedule a call with you. Now, when folks schedule an appointment with you, we're going to send them a series of reminders because we actually want them to show up. So we send them emails 12 hours, 6 hours, and 10 minutes before the call. We stagger that with text messages 6 hours, 30 minutes, and 6 minutes prior to the call. Now, when we do that, we see on average a show rate of 70 to 90%, particularly if folks actually follow the training inside of our program. There are many days actually my show rate is 100%, and I attribute it entirely to these reminders. It's really powerful. But now, when you get on these appointments with folks, if you're like our average agents, you're going to close 60% of them. A good number of them you'll close on the first call if you've got time to do that. Of course, if you don't close them on the first call, you're looking at one of three possible outcomes. Outcome number one is that they just simply don't show, and it happens. Um, I do like when no shows actually reschedule before the day of the appointment, but you'll find some no shows, maybe just last minute, just don't show up. And we handle that really simply. You just inside the system, you mark them as a no show. That triggers the rebooking sequence to do the chasing to get them back on your calendar. A good number of folks will respond to that and just reschedule themselves. Some folks may not respond to that automatically. Instead, what they may do is give you a phone call or shoot you a text message through the CRM. And so, use the agent would just, have that conversation. A lot of times they just say, "Hey, I'm sorry I can't make it. What do you have for next Tuesday at 3:30?" So you just reschedule them. Second possible outcome is that you have what we call a follow up to close. These are the folks that you just don't have time to close on the first call. Maybe because you got another appointment coming up right behind it. No problem. You just manually schedule that second follow up call with them to finish the process. And then the third possible outcome is that you have what we call a no contact. So these are the folks who've actually confirmed their information via text message. So we know they're real people engaged with the process, but at some point between confirming their details and seeing your booking calendar, which is all of 2 seconds, maybe they got distracted. Phone rings, Amazon packages at the door, kids are crying like crazy, so they move on to see what's getting their attention. Well, we have that reactivation campaign that just continues to nudge them to remind them, hey, you signed up for this thing. Let's go ahead and get you on the calendar. Some folks may respond with a call or text as well. Maybe they got a question they need to ask before they book an appointment. And then some folks, you as the agent, would just proactively contact yourself so that you can kind of help them cross the bridge from coming in to actually booking an appointment on your calendar. Now, before I move any further in this process, I just want to do a quick little touch point here to see if we have any questions or if everything's pretty clear so far here. And I guess you can just kind of drop your questions in the chat as I go along, and I'll just keep moving forward because I know we don't have a lot of time here. So if you have questions, drop them in the chat, and I'll be sure to pay attention to that. But now
Hey,
the other,
Paul, I've got a question. Paul, can you hear me? Paul,
yeah,
can you
yeah,
hear me?
go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah. These appointments are in your office. It sounds like that's what you're saying. In other words, I'm scheduling an appointment to come into my office.
No, not at all. These are all
Okay.
done. Yeah, yeah. These can all be handled just like we're doing now through Zoom, virtually.
Oh, okay. These can handle through Zoom. Okay.
Yep.
All right.
So now we also offer a bonus reactivation campaign. This is really cool if you've got some old leads or cold leads or folks that you otherwise haven't reached out to yet. It's a good way to get some appointments on your calendar using our CRM and your own data at no additional cost to you. And the way that works is it's an automated text messaging campaign that we run for 60 days. We aren't literally bombarding people for 60 days in a row. That would be harassing, and we don't want to do that. But what we do is we import your existing lead data into the CRM, and it's a really generic sort of outreach campaign. So you can really take the conversation any direction you want to go as folks start to reach out to you. But it is branded to you so they know actually who's reaching out to them. But you just respond to them. And after that initial push, we let the lead sit dormant for 30 days. Then we reactivate them through another automated texting campaign which again is just going to help you maximize every opportunity with your existing data at no additional cost to you. That way you can get some appointments in your calendar for whatever you want to sell them. So now let's talk about some expectations here based on real numbers we're seeing in our performance metrics. Now, our daily target is 5 book sales appointments. Now, I mentioned earlier that the average show rate is 70 to 90%. Um, but even with just a 40% show rate, that is still a win for you because just a 40% show rate still gives us 2 solid sales calls a day. So that's 10 new prospects added into your pipeline weekly or 40 new prospects added monthly. And keep in mind, our agents are averaging a 60% close rate. So with that 60% close rate, we're seeing an average of 24 new clients a month. We've had agents come to us who were struggling to write 4 or 5 IULs in a given month, who are now averaging 4 or 5 or more each week. So it's pretty powerful what we're seeing here, and a good reason for that. The results that we're seeing is what's inside of our on-demand agent training portal. So you get instant access to that. It has some pre-recorded material in there that's short and actionable, but it's meaty. You can go through it at your own pace. We also invite you to a closed Facebook group where other agents are there answering questions, providing support, celebrating when other agents close deals. And then there's the sales pitch training. So we have a process that's scripted for you. It's really more of a framework than it is a word for word script. But we have a training video that accompanies it that sort of steps you through the what and the how of the pitch and why it works so well. Agents who are using this particular framework are closing 60 to 80% or more of the prospects that they pitch. And then we give you training on the CRM. The CRM itself is pretty much drag and drop simple, but there are some moving parts that you want to be acquainted with, so we ensure that you're not lost in the technical weeds here. Um, so the program really has everything an agent needs. We've sort of created the wheel here, so to speak. But it's a complete lead generation, lead nurturing program, and sales system all in one. But like anything else that works well, it won't work unless you work it. But the cool thing is that everything you need to know is in the click by click video training that we created for you. In fact, 99% of the questions that do come up for you are already answered in that training. For the other 1%, you'll have the Facebook group to fall back on. And we also provide you with a dedicated client success manager to be your primary point of contact for other stuff that you need. So your success really depends on you just simply focusing on the training videos so you can get every dollar out of your marketing. So if you can do that, if you can commit to watching the training videos and following the system without trying to reinvent the wheel, then you'll succeed like our agents who are averaging 60% close rates or better. Now, I guess I think I'll stop here because I did see a question come up in the chat. Um, so explain one more time how this service is. Okay, yeah. So there's a question about the pricing. It says explain one more time how this service is charged to the agent again. So, yeah, I guess that's a question about the pricing. What we'll do here is kind of step you through that piece. With the pricing here, let me advance to the next slide here so we can actually talk about that. So the next steps are really straightforward. Actually, I did want to let you all hear from one of our recent agents before we jump into the pricing piece. So I need to share a clip here so you can hear from her. So it's going to make the video, if you had a video on, it's going to make that disappear while I play the video, but it's only like 2 minutes long. So we'll listen.
Is Mia, and I live in Los Angeles, and I've been in insurance coming up on 8 years. So I love it.
Awesome. Well,
Yeah.
thanks for jumping on with me. Just some really quick questions in regards to the lead program for you. I know you've been with us for how long now?
A week.
Nice.
About
That's
a week,
good.
maybe a little, emotionally longer, but with this program, about a week and a half or so.
Yeah, cool. So have you had any success with it?
I've already written 3 index universal life policies. So yeah, 3 IULs. I have my 4th one booked for Tuesday.
Wow.
And it's been quick and easy. I mean, I did the first call about 30 minutes, second call about 45 minutes doing the application, and they're submitted into the carrier. So
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
So you said you've been in the business for 8 years. You must have gotten leads somewhere before you met us. So what were you doing before?
Well, and before I was giving presentations, so I got to present in front of large groups of people, which is nice. And then since COVID, I mean, I haven't been able to do that, but I was doing a lead system before you guys, and it was horrible, and I hated it. I almost left the entire industry. Started rethinking all my career choices. It was bad. It was tough, and when you don't have a good lead source, you can't succeed. It's you can't perform without an audience, sort of thing, and that's really where I would think that the biggest failure can come from is not having a good lead source.
Absolutely.
You have a great product and you can't share it with anybody.
I 100% agree. So what would you say to an agent that's looking at the program now?
I would say that, like, if I believe in it, it sounds weird enough, but then it's a good deal. But I would say give it a shot. I mean, if you want, I like quick, fast, like, throw me into it, get it done, boom, boom, boom type of person. That's why I really loved giving presentations, because I could write a bunch of business at, just continually. And that's what I like about how the structure is setting up. Is so far is proven to be a fast method, rather than a really slow, constant follow up. Let's push it out 2 weeks. It's been a quick thing so far, and that's what intrigues me about this a lot. That's what I like.
Awesome. Mia, appreciate the time.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Anything else?
No, that's it.
Okay. All right. So I've got lots of wisdom for you.
All right, so that's Mia. She's one of the agents that came to us a while back who was struggling to do 4 or 5 IULs a month. Now she's doing that many and more a week. And so we got a really strong guarantee that we offer with the program. We call it our 2 sales guarantee. And the way that works is we actually guarantee that you'll close 2 deals for every lead bundle that you order. All you have to do is follow the system and use the CRM that we supply for you. So if you follow the system and you use that supplied CRM and you don't close a minimum of 2 deals, we will replace the leads until you do. As far as pricing goes, it's pretty straightforward. We sell the leads in minimum quantities of 30 leads per bundle. The price is just $45 per lead. You buy them as you need them. They do not ever expire. We don't force you to replenish at any given interval, so you can replenish every 2 weeks or 2 months. It's totally up to you. But once you place your order, we fulfill the leads in real time. Typically takes 1 to 2 weeks. So you place your order today, for example, within a few business days, you have some leads filling your pipeline, and then about a week or two, the entire bundle is fulfilled. Onboarding process is really straightforward. You pay for your first bundle of leads. You take delivery when you're ready. We do, however, ask you to complete the training inside the portal before your campaign goes live, so we can all be on the same page as to how the system works and what your part is in that. And of course, that submits the 2 sales guarantee for you as well. But once your campaign is active, we do not pause it until your order is fulfilled. Then, of course, once you make your payment, you get a receipt for that purchase. We also send you a lead purchase agreement via PandaDoc, which you must sign prior to getting the leads. After signing that, you're going to get a series of 3 emails within about 30 minutes of completing the agreement. First email will be introducing you to your dedicated client success manager. They'll be your primary point of contact for everything you need. Second email will have your CRM login details and some instructions we'll need you to follow to ensure everything is properly branded to you as the agent. And the third email will have access details for the agent training portal, so you can jump right into that pre-recorded material. But after all that, we start filling your pipeline with leads within just a few business days. As far as payment goes, we accept Visa, American Express, MasterCard, and Discover. Just decide which card you want to put your first round of leads on, and we get you rolling. So that's the end of my speech, folks. So,
Hey, Paul, I've got a question again. Johnny,
sure.
These are, when you get the leads, you tell the client this is the Zoom presentation?
Yeah, all that's done through the CRM and the automated messaging. When they book the call, it's very clear that it's a Zoom call. There's no room for misunderstanding.
Okay, good. Good.
Yeah.
All right, so they know we're going to make a Zoom presentation.
Correct.
Good.
Yep. Any other questions?
Okay, guys, any other questions for Paul?
I do have one.
Oh,
Hey,
wait, I
Paul.
just saw one in the chat. It says, what are we presenting to the clients? Yeah, so all that's in the agent training portal. It's a very basic presentation because, again, we're using the whole become your own bank concept. And so All the nurturing leading up to them having a call with you is sort of reinforcing that concept. And then the presentation itself just essentially picks up where the nurturing sequences leave off so that it's a nice smooth handoff. So you're really just starting off presenting to them, just asking them questions about the infinite banking concept. Have they heard of it? And then you're just taking it from there. And now you, as the agent, as the subject matter expert, are educating them on how life insurance can be instrumental in that concept. So, of course, that means you could present them with an IUL. We have some agents that present them with different types of whole life insurance. So you don't necessarily have to pigeonhole yourself to an IUL. We leave the nurturing open enough to where you can pick the product you want to present. As long as it fits within the infinite banking concept, you're going to make a good connection with the prospect. And so, what you present is really up to you. But in terms of the actual framework, to answer your question, Peter, all of that's fully exposed in the agent training portal. We also have some examples of, I think there's two examples in there of live calls where an agent is going from top to bottom with the pitch and working with actual prospects. So you have that as well.
I have a question.
Yeah, good
Uh,
question.
yeah. Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Is that Enoch?
Yeah, Enoch.
All right.
So it seems like this presentation, it's already laid out on the CRM, right? I mean, it's already when I read right here, CRM login details with instructions. That's exactly what it is. Like you create some sort of a portal for us to go through a training that would teach us how to, like, the first steps towards this presentation, which is um, I guess that's the synergy between the leads and the closing ratio.
I'm not sure if I understood the question there. So you're asking,
Like you said, like the leads, the way they generate it is by pitching this your own bank concept. So the
Mhm.
presentation is kind of like it's already given in this CRM, right? Like you're sort of teaching us how to close the lead. Is that what you're
Correct,
saying?
correct. Yeah, all that's going to be in the agent training portal for you. Yeah.
Is it any? I know you mentioned two. You calendar one, which I'm very familiar with it, and the CRM. Is it also at no cost, or there's some sort of a fee, for utilizing your CRM, or it's a part of the bundle? I mean, how does it work?
Yeah, that's a good question. There's no additional cost to you for the CRM. All you're paying for is the leads. Everything else we're paying for the cost of. So we're covering the ad costs. We're covering the cost of the CRM. We're even covering the cost of Schedule Once. All that stuff's provided to you. All you're paying for is the leads. That's it. No additional cost.
Okay,
Oh wait,
thank
there's
you.
another. Sure. Thanks, Enoch. So let's see. Uh, So Luke is asking, are you guys only in the lead selling business, or are you in FMO also getting some override of the commissions? No, like I said from the beginning, we're not an FMO or an IMO. We're strictly lead generation, we're strictly lead providers here. Now, I am a licensed agent, but I got licensed after the fact because agents were telling us, hey, you guys are leaving money on the table. You should get licensed. And so me and my partner did. But no, we're not. We are not we're not an FMO or an IMO. And now Peter is asking, is it ethical for a life insurance agent to present numbers like a fiduciary financial advisor, or we need a security license? Yeah, see, we don't even get into doing that. We just get into a conversation about the concept of be your own bank, and then we're just providing an education on how life insurance can be instrumental for that. It's stuff that's out there. People can verify it, and we're just getting them into a policy. So, and that's where you as the agent would come in. So, no, you don't need a security license. We do have people that work the program that have a security license. So it does open them up to, like, we had one guy who's an asset manager. And so it opens them up to have a deeper conversation with the prospect that the typical agent might not be able to have, but you don't need to have a securities license. You're simply educating them on how life insurance can be used in a way that most people aren't aware of, and then getting them into a policy. And then any questions like that, you just run it by your, run it by Case, and you guys on your team if you have any other questions. But
I got another question. Uh, since this is an online, like I guess online lead generator system, is there any prerequisites like multiple states or something as like such for this lead program?
yeah, that's a real good question too, man. I like these, Enoch. So typically, what we do, agents will take leads just all over the country. And if they get leads for an area that they are not licensed in, they'll just quickly file for their non-resident producer license while they're working the deal. That's one option. And most of our agents who are licensed in all 50 states, that's how they got licensed in all 50 states. And then we have some agents that come in and say, hey, look, I'm only licensed in a handful of states. And so we'll work with a minimum of 5 or 6. The only exception will be states like California and Texas because they're both so large that they are kind of like 5 states by themselves. Those are the exceptions where we will just work with one state, but ideally we like to target 5 or 6 states, if not more.
Yeah,
Does that make
I
sense?
yes, I agree. Because I actually I'm doing a program like this,
Hmm.
and yes, it's multiple states. It's a requirement.
Yeah.
That's the only reason that I ask.
Okay.
And I do have my Texas license because of that.
Okay. Perfect. Looks like somebody. So, and Luke asked another question here. Uh, Looks like somebody has some background noise coming in. But it says besides, I'm not sure who that is. Let me see. I think it's here. So it says besides the infinite banking concept leads, what other lead programs do you have, if any? In the insurance space, this is it. This is our primary hook. We've experimented with a bunch of different approaches, and we found that this approach gave us the not only the best quality prospect, but the best in terms of volume. We've experimented with other angles that just weren't nearly as effective as this one. So we leverage on that whole become your own bank concept, and we find that it works extremely well. All right. So I think that's it for the questions. I don't see any more in the chat.
I've got one other question.
Okay, go ahead,
Uh,
Johnny.
you're familiar with the sales that are being made, aren't you? In other words, you've got an idea of the average age of the client coming in to buy, who is interested in this concept. What would you say the average age is?
Um, I don't know specifically in terms of what the average age is for folks that are closing.
Well, let me ask the
But
question another
but
way.
well, no, I can answer it though. So
Okay, go ahead.
I can answer what I think what you're shooting at. So the
Okay,
ideal age range that we're targeting is between that 35 to 50-year-old range. I have seen folks come into the program as young as 28 who still can get into an IUL and they can afford one, and some as old as 54. But then beyond that, you're not really going to find any that really fit for the IUL. But our target is primarily that 35 to 50-year-old range.
okay. The reason I asked the question, I'm just trying to figure out what the average target premium would be.
Yeah, it's going to vary. I've seen them as low as like 200 to 300 a month. I've seen 400 to 500 a month, and I've seen 1,000 to 1,500 a month in terms of what the monthly premium is. So it's just going to vary, depending on the person's situation and what they can afford.
Okay, that's pretty good because it puts the average commission somewhere in the neighborhood of the 2 to 3 thousand range
Hmm.
per sale.
Yeah, especially if they're doing like 200 or 300 bucks a month in premium.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Okay.
All right, and I do see a couple more questions from Pete here in the chat. He mentioned our team is only licensed in certain states. Yep, that's cool. As long as you got at least 5 or 6 that you can work with, we can work with that. It says, will the system give leads according to the states our team is licensed? Yeah, again, if you just let us know the states, like I said, the minimum is 5 or 6. So if you got at least 5 or 6 states, Peter, that your team is licensed in, you just give those to your dedicated client success manager, and that'll be the program will be your campaign will be shaped around that. Now, Brian is asking a question. You say closing is 60%, 60% of appointments. Yep. Yep. Average agent's closing is 60%. Now, of course, this is sales, right? So you have some folks that are below average that are closing maybe 40% or less. You have some agents that are closing 80% or more. Yeah, but the average across the program is 60%. Yep, so I think,
I got another one.
all right, Enoch, go for it.
I do have only one state and a few other pending. The one that I do have is Texas. I mean,
Okay.
it's not gonna be sort of a bottleneck, starting up, or you prefer, someone already coming in, 5, 6 states. And if you do, is there kind of a ballpark of your favorite states, that provide you or make your job easier to generate leads for us? What would those be? Just, I don't know, maybe top 5, 6.
Yeah, we get them all over, so I don't really have an answer for that in terms of the top 5 or 6.
Okay.
Wherever people are looking to, a lot of people are using this concept to, save money, to build wealth, to save money for investment properties, even to pay off debt. So that's pretty much 80% plus of the population. So we don't
Right.
have any issues with,
Absolutely.
low volumes in certain areas.
Okay. Okay. I was just thinking, so I have one state, and things, it's kind of, some states are kind of hard to get your license these days, and I'm just trying to prioritize, like
Sure. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
the ones that would be best fit. But I don't
Well,
know
I
if
would
you have
say
a
in your
problem.
situation, since you mentioned you're already licensed in Texas, I'd say start there. Since you've since Texas is like 5 states in one by itself, you'd have a lot of population to fish from.
Right. I was working in Florida, and I was working in California as well. And
Okay.
they're not moving forward, so it's, don't really know why, but it's just the way they are right now. But thanks for that. I
Okay.
do appreciate your.
Sure, no problem, Enoch. And Luke's asking another question. Can you define what is a bundle of leads? How much am I required to pay for the first bundle? Good question. So, bundle leads is just that. Just we sell the leads in minimum quantities of 30 leads per bundle. Again, it's $45 per lead. So that means your minimum bundle cost is $13.50. 45 times 30 gives you $13.50 minimum bundle cost. So hopefully that answers that. So yeah, I don't know, Case, if I don't know if you have anybody that I don't know how you guys are wanting to, if for any agents that might want to come on board, you
Yeah.
can just
If
reach me
agents,
directly for
yeah,
that.
if they want to purchase the leads, they'll buy directly from you, Paul. And then if anyone is interested in getting the leads, let me know. Email me, and I, I have a kind of like a special reimbursement program that if you buy um, the leads through Next Vision and Paul, you will get up to about 25% reimbursement program for you. So it could be yes, some savings for you, or you can use the reimbursement for additional leads. So let me know, depending on your contract level, though. Some of you um, have some GA contracts, some of you have agent contracts. So let me know if you're interested, and then I'll take a look to see which reimbursement program you would qualify for.
Do have another quick one. Hey,
Okay.
Case, just for Case, maybe you could
Okay.
put Paul's information in the email. That way, maybe sometime this week or next week, and I can have a conversation with him. I mean through you, but because I don't, his information is not precisely right here in the portal, and maybe a number or how
Sure.
you want us to go through him, in an email, so
Right.
we can reach out to him.
Yes. 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 Yeah. We'll plan to do that. We'll put Paul's contact information and all that stuff, and then provide you some information about the reimbursement program, and we'll email to everyone.
Okay.
Yeah,
You let
actually,
me know if you're interested, and I can, also call and talk to you as well.
yeah,
Thank
and
you.
I can, if anybody who needs it, I can drop it in the chat right now too, so
Mhm.
that
Yeah,
you know.
Paul, feel free to do that, and then I will also follow up with an email.
Okay, perfect. let me do that now. Oops. All right, while I'm pulling up my contact card here, were there any other questions that came up? Okay, let me check the, oh, it looks like we're all good. All right. Okay, so what I'm going to include is my email, phone number, and of course my booking calendar link so that everybody can have that. And I'll drop that here in the chat. Okay, and then, okay, there we go, to everyone. All right, so I just dropped it in there. His name, Paul Favors, number 864-664-2600. Email paul@unlocal.com. Then I've got a link to book a Zoom call with me. Oh, and if you want to catch a recap of this presentation here, just so that you can kind of not have to remember everything we talked about here, I'm going to send you a
Hey,
link.
does that have the questions that we've asked in the presentation?
I'm sorry, what was that?
This is Johnny.
Yeah, you said it doesn't.
Yeah, you taped this, I take it. And you're going to send that to us?
What I'm sending you is actually, I think, John, it's going to be that same video that you've probably already seen.
Okay.
But yeah, that's a video that we use just because it's a much.
Well, you
it's a
covered
much,
a lot more stuff, and the questions were very good that came in today. Okay. Anyway, yeah, I've got to get a few more guys in on this this lead program because I like it. Okay.
Okay, perfect.
So I'll figure out what to do.
Okay. And yeah, you can just point them to me. Any questions they have, I'm happy to jump on a call and answer them. And then Brian asked
Sure.
another question here. He says, "Is this just IUL and no whole life?" That's a very good question. So the way we structure the nurturing, we don't pigeonhole you into a particular type of policy. We're just getting people on the concept of being your own bank. So we have agents that, of course, are getting people into an IUL, but then we have some agents I've been hearing from recently that are directing folks to whole life or a different type of whole life policy that may be less volatile than an IUL, has a lower rate of return, but it has less volatility. So there's certain types of whole life policies that they're getting them into. So the point I'm making is that you can take that conversation whichever direction you want. Folks are not coming in with the expectation of just being solely put into an IUL. Again, because we don't get deep into the technical conversation about the different policy types. We leave that to you as the agent so that you can offer the best fit in terms of product. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. Excellent. Okay, perfect. Yeah, Peter said makes sense. All right.
Okay, any other questions, guys, before we let Paul go? Okay, all right. So thank you very much, Paul. Thanks for your time. And I will send out an email to the team regarding the program and how to contact you and all that stuff, including reimbursement programs and things like that. So hopefully, we'll order a lot of leads from you and let's make money together.
Absolutely. That's what we're here for. And thanks again for having me on the call today. I really enjoyed hanging out with you folks this afternoon.
All right. Thanks, Paul. Yeah. Thank you.
You have a good one.
Yep.
All right,
Thanks,
bye-bye.
everyone. Let me know if you have any questions. Thank you.